All right. What's up? I just think it's funny that I set this timer, but I promised myself 15 minutes. So, good morning. It's day 4 of going live. Day 4 of me doing 75 hard. Saturdays, it was my biggest worry, at least on the weekly schedule, because I work a double at the bar, and I was like, fuck, dude. So I got to get there at 10:30, and so I have to leave my house at 10, and then I'm like, dude, it's an hour at the gym, plus another 45 minutes of outside running, walking, etc., and plus all the in-between time, so it was like, that's like 2.5 hours, and then get a shower, 15 minutes live here is another 15 minutes setup, and so I'm like, that's another half hour. So I was like, fuck, dude, I'm not a morning person, and I don't normally get up that early, but I was like, I gotta get up at like 6:30, which maybe for some people is not that early, but for me, that's a big deal, and I'm just worried about oversleeping. I'm like, dude, if I work a 10-hour day, and go run outside at night when it's fucking cold, or my gym's closed, so I just have to do work outside anyway, or borrow somebody else's gym membership, I guess. So yeah, but got it all done, other than this and some reading, and drinking my water and shit, but so pretty stoked on that. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I've been trying to post a little more just about the progress. My friend Brittany, who gave me this idea, she said that like one of the things she does is like check in at the gym on Snapchat like every morning, and she gets up at like 5. But so by her doing that, like if she ever misses a day, people are like, hey, I didn't see that you posted at the gym this morning. So it's like the public's kind of holding you accountable. So I do want to keep kind of checking in socially online, so that way people can hold me accountable. And then we have this group with my sister and some friends, where we just like kind of post our daily stuff for January. But I'm gonna keep going, through the 75 days. So it's pretty fun. What's up, Russell? At some point you might meet Russell. He likes to jump on my lap during podcasts, so we'll see if he. I was just thinking of I went over to my buddy Gary's house, and he's like resetting up his podcast too. So I helped him set up cameras. I know a lot about. He does this thing where like once he records everything, he just sends it overseas. And pays somebody to doing a bunch of doing all his clips and stuff. So that's something I kind of want to work towards, because it's just like time eludes you. It's funny to see how I was thinking about it this morning. I got out of bed at 6:40, and I was like, dude, I 32 ounces of water, salt water with lemon. So you got to make that and then drink it, and then I got to feed Russell. And I'm like, yeah, that should be fine. But like, dude, I was fucking rushing just to get those 2 basic things. Like 20 minutes goes by like that. And I mean, it's kind of nice, like when I'm talking here, 15 minutes goes by pretty quickly. Like I don't really struggle talking once I get going. I'm a pretty big dude. Like I'm like, oh yeah, it'll only take me 5 minutes or whatever, and then here I am an hour later doing something. Or so with that, like I normally just kind of slowly sip on my water and walk around and scroll Facebook or do something stupid. And so this morning I'm like chugging my water, trying to get it down, feeding Russell. And I still made it to the gym at like 7:02 or something. So I was like, fuck, man, like that 20 minutes goes so quick. But then I used to do some cold soaking, which I need to get back into. I'm doing so many things right now. Like I'm just like, let me figure this shit out first. And that's another very hard thing in the morning to do. I mean, it's great for you, and making that challenge for you. It takes forever. Or if you're trying to get things done in a specific amount of time, that time goes like that. But then when you're doing something hard, or like the run, you're running for 45 minutes, it feels like forever. You're just like, God damn it. Like, what the fuck is happening? But yeah, and then like to the podcast, I mean, I could, like, my last podcast with my buddy Ian, which I'm going to be releasing on Monday, a friend of mine, I mean, we could just go and go and go. And normally I've been trying to keep my podcast like under 2, and that's actually hard for me because like we just get going. So yeah, it was like just go, 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 go. And it's like, where does the time go? But you're doing something hard that's like physically tasked. It's kind of trippy. I'm sure you've felt that before, I guess. But yeah, I was listening to this interview with who was it? There's this guy Bradley Martin, who's like a big YouTuber. I've never really listened to him. He's a part of the Nelk Boys, I guess. But he was interviewing Dan Bilzerian. Yourself, nerdy, who couldn't get any girls. Seeing somebody like Dan Bilzerian was always like, oh man, if I could have that lifetime, whatever, going on yachts and stuff like that all seemed cool to me. And I was just like, how the fuck does this guy do it? It's interesting to hear his story now because he's like totally kind of pushed that behind him. He's like, I'm trying to conquer my sex addiction. I've done all the things I want to do. It doesn't bring me pleasure at all, which I logically know would be true. I've had plenty of pleasure, and I do know that like just pleasure alone doesn't bring fulfillment. Like you just go through this loop and you're like, oh yeah, I'm doing a bunch of drugs and I'm fucking a lot of girls. That doesn't, it's really fun for a while, and then it just kind of wears off and you're like, okay, I need to actually be doing something with my life, or something of meaning. And so you kind of think like, yeah, I mean, you can say that, but I've never had it. So like, I want to experience that for myself so I can learn that lesson. It's like Jim Carrey, I think, is the guy who said, I wish that everybody could be rich and famous to realize that it doesn't fulfill you. So then you can actually find, what you want, your purpose in life. And so, I mean, I guess I want that for myself. It's just like, yeah, I do want to experience those things. I do want to experience what it feels like to be rich. I do want to experience what it feels like to have some notoriety or fame. Just, like, I could probably come to the same conclusion that it's not that's not the end all be all, but that doesn't mean I don't want to experience it in my life. But I think that finding those kind of things at an older age is like, I've had a lot of, my own struggles in my personal journey before. I think it's probably pretty unhealthy for somebody who's super young to, get handed the world. They have a very skewed sense of reality, and a lot of different pressures, but who the fuck knows? I mean, like, everybody has a different path. But I obviously feel like in my, like most people in life, they want to have some sort of meaning. And I think a lot of people find meaning in, finding somebody they love, building a family. But then that can go away with like divorce and, I don't know, it's just like people that struggle with like their kids hate them or something. Like, that always scared me. Like, fuck, man, I can't imagine like wanting this ideal for so long, like a family with kids, and like, oh, if I can just have this thing, and you get this thing, and then like your marriage goes to shit by the time you're 40, and then your kids start resenting the parents, and then they get into their high school years and they're rebellious, and that sweet child that was just like daddy's girl or daddy's boy or whatever just like throws it all in your face and just like, dude, you're a terrible parent and blah blah blah, you don't even care. I'm like, dude, I can't imagine what that feels like. Just that would have to just crush you. So maybe that's why I'm not getting married and having kids. But and also, I guess it could be going back to the book that I'm reading, The Gap and the Gain. Shout out Dan Sullivan and Dr. Benjamin Hardy. You got to measure not not where you are to where you want to be, but where you are to where you were. And I mean, even through failure, you have gained so much experience and life lessons. There's this guy I've been listening to, Alex Hormozi. He's more like business stuff, but he has a lot of good life lessons, and he's a super authentic guy. And he's all about just like building business and making money. But he's if you're trying to build a business or any sort of getting ahead in life financially, he's a really good guy to listen to. What's up, Russell? And he was talking about how like when he's younger at it, I mean, he would start building different businesses, and then he'd just go broke because he'd make a bad investment, and then he would take what little money he had and build it up again and go broke. And he said it like after 5 years of business, he was broke, and he was just like, dude, all of this has been a waste. And that was like his thought. But then he didn't quit. He went and tried another like stab at something, and then like his third or fourth or whatever, his time, like he just blew up, and he had learned these different lessons, and he finally cracked the code of like what was holding him back in the previous ones, and then he implemented those lessons and that learning into his next business, and then it blew up, and now he's just, I mean, he's so fucking rich, and he doesn't really even care about being rich so much as he just likes to keep building, and he's like playing a game, which I can respect, because he's not a flashy guy. He doesn't drive fancy cars or wear fancy clothes or fuck a bunch of hoes or any of it. He's just like Warren Buffett, he's just, I just like to play this game. This is Russell. Is this your first? What's up, dude? Yeah, so anyway, I forgot what I was saying, but this is Russell. Here, maybe I'll make you face. What's up? What's up, PG? Yeah, I know, you're hungry. He's just constantly fucking, when he gets just a little bit hungry, he'll just meow at me, and then if I walk anywhere in the house, he'll immediately run to this bowl, like he thinks I'm going there, and if I don't, he comes back in, and then if I get up, he runs to the bowl. And then if I'm in the kitchen, he just sits at the bowl and just like stares at me, and I'm like, I just fed him 2 hours ago, I want to say, and he's already just like meow meow. But then I'll feed him a little bit, and he'll eat like 2 bites, and then I'll just leave it. And so I have this other cat, Momo, and then Momo will come in and eat all his food. And Momo is a fatty, so Momo has his own food, and then he'll eat all of Russell's leftovers, and so he is a big boy. Russell's a big cat, but I'm trying to keep too much weight off him because he's getting a little older. But yeah, so Momo will just fucking eat all his food, and they're kind of dicks. Momo ruined my couch. I blame Jazz, but she'll never see this. Maybe she will. Momo is a sweetie, but I have this nice white leather couch, and I had it for 8 years, about 8 years with Russell. Russell never goes for it, and I clip his nails. But then Momo came into the picture when Jazz moved in, and fuck, Momo has just destroyed it. Like, he just lays on it, and then every time he wakes up from a nap, he's just like going after it. And being a bartender, I'm not home all the time, or I'm not around or whatever, and so like if I can't catch him, and Jazz doesn't clip his nails, so it just destroyed this couch. So I mean, it's whatever. It's a couch. We'll get another one at some point once Momo fucking kicks it. Anyway, I gotta run to work, but shout out day 4, 75 hard. I know I'm not even done with my first week, but just this little bit of momentum has given me I know I can do this. I know I got this shit. I'm gonna get my everything done in a row. My diet is more geared towards gaining weight, so I'm just trying to pack in extra calories. So that might be like my easiest part of 75 hard, but like doing doing everything else, the video, the water, the 2-a-days, the reading, the progress picture, all that shit. So yeah, even though I'm only 4 days in, pretty proud of myself and stoked to see where this takes me. So I'll check in tomorrow. Peace.